Picture this: a 200-year-old barn built into a mountainside, cattle living on the ground floor producing heat to warm the family sleeping upstairs, massive stone walls that have survived centuries of avalanches, and a roof so intelligently designed that snow slides off like water. This isn't some fairy tale. This is Swiss Alpine barn architecture, a design philosophy so brilliant that modern architects in 2026 are still studying these structures and copying their genius. By the end of this video, you'll understand why these barns are considered some of the most sophisticated vernacular architecture ever created, and why they're making a massive comeback as luxury homes. Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal will completely change how you think about mountain architecture. But before we dive in, if you love architecture that combines function, beauty, and centuries of practical wisdom, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'm breaking down the most fascinating design principles from around the world, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Also, drop a comment telling me which Swiss canyon you'd love to build in. Now, let's get into it. What makes Swiss Alpine barns special? Swiss Alpine barns aren't just buildings. They're survival systems perfected over 700 years of brutal mountain living. We're talking about structures that date back to 1328, originally used by farmers and shepherds during grazing seasons in some of the harshest conditions on Earth. Here's what makes them extraordinary. These barns were built using only materials available within walking distance. Stone from local quarries formed massive foundations. Larch wood from alpine forests created the upper structures. Everything was carried up mountains by hand or animal. No trucks, no cranes, just human ingenuity. The genius is in the layout. Traditional Swiss Alpine barns followed a vertical hierarchy that was pure practical brilliance. The ground floor, built from thick stone walls, housed cattle and livestock. The middle floor stored hay, fodder, and grain. The top floor provided living quarters for the family. This wasn't random. It was thermal engineering before that term even existed. During brutal alpine winters, the animals living below generated heat that rose through the building, keeping the family warm above. The hay in the middle floor acted as natural insulation. This passive heating system meant families could survive months of sub-zero temperatures without any modern heating systems. It's sustainable design that puts our contemporary green buildings to shame. The stone foundation served multiple purposes. It elevated the wooden structure above snow level, preventing rot. It provided protection from avalanches and rock slides. It created a thermal mass that absorbed heat during the day and released it at night. These weren't decorative choices. Every element was about survival. The construction technique varied by region, but the principle remained constant. In Valais, you'll find large wood construction on stone bases, with additional stories added as families grew. In the Bernese Oberland, massive timber frames dominate. In Graubünden, stone becomes more prominent. Each region adapted the basic barn concept to local materials and specific climate challenges. The roof, engineered perfection. Let me tell you about the most underrated piece of engineering genius in these barns: the roof. Swiss Alpine barn roofs aren't just covering. They're sophisticated weather management systems that have been refined over centuries. First, the pitch. These roofs are steeply angled, typically between 45 to 60 degrees. This is an aesthetic preference. In regions receiving 10 to 20 feet of snow annually, a steep pitch means snow slides off naturally before dangerous weight accumulates. A flat or shallow roof would collapse under that load within weeks. The overhang is equally critical. These roofs project far beyond the building walls, sometimes extending 3 to 6 feet. This massive overhang protects wooden walls from rain and snow, preventing moisture damage that would destroy the structure. It also creates covered outdoor spaces where families could work protected from weather. The roofing material depended on local resources. In areas with slate quarries, you'll find stone slabs called lues, biole, or payode. These irregular stone plates could last 200+ years without replacement. In forested regions, wooden shingles made from larch provided the covering. Some regions used a combination. Here's where it gets fascinating. In districts with extreme weather, builders laid heavy wooden planks weighted down with boulders on top of the roof covering. This prevented violent alpine winds from tearing off the roofing material. It's low-tech, but incredibly effective, the weight of local stones protecting against 100 miles per hour mountain gales. The roof structure itself used massive timber trusses or intricate lattice frameworks that distributed weight across the stone walls. No metal fasteners in traditional construction, just precisely cut joinery that locked together and grew stronger under load. Carpenters developed regional joinery techniques passed down through generations, each valley having subtle variations you can identify if you know what to look for. Strategic orientation and placement. Swiss Alpine barn builders were masters of site selection and building orientation. Every barn was positioned with surgical precision based on solar exposure, wind patterns, and terrain features. The main facade almost always faces south. This isn't coincidence. South-facing walls receive maximum solar radiation during short winter days, naturally warming the building. Large windows and balconies were placed on this sunny side, bringing light and warmth into living spaces. The back of the barn, facing north, was built directly into the mountain slope when possible. This served multiple functions. The mountain provided natural insulation and wind protection. It also created easier access to upper floors. You could walk directly from the hillside onto the second or third floor. Hay wagons could be driven right into the hayloft without complex ramps. The stables and barn sections were positioned on the mountainside, the coldest area. This created a thermal buffer between the harsh north wind and the inhabited living spaces. It's brilliant passive climate control that costs nothing to operate and never breaks down. Buildings were positioned to avoid avalanche paths and rockfall zones. Centuries of observation taught communities exactly where to build and where to avoid. Traditional barn locations represent generations of accumulated knowledge about mountain hazards. Modern developers ignore this wisdom at their peril. Materials and construction techniques. The material palette of Swiss Alpine barns tells the story of radical localism. Builders used what the immediate landscape provided, creating structures that literally grew from their surroundings. Larchwood dominates wooden construction throughout the Alps. This wasn't random selection. Larch is exceptionally durable, naturally resistant to rot, insects, and weather. When exposed to the elements, larch changes color over decades, transitioning from yellow to silver gray to deep charcoal black, depending on the specific exposure. This natural weathering creates the distinctive appearance of aged alpine barns. The stone base typically used whatever stone was locally quarried, granite in some regions, limestone in others, gneiss in certain valleys. The stone was roughly shaped and stacked, often without mortar in early constructions. Later buildings used lime mortar. The thickness of these stone walls, often 2 to 3 feet thick, provided incredible structural strength and thermal mass. Wood joinery in traditional barns showcases craftsmanship that's nearly extinct today. Block construction, where horizontal logs are stacked and interlocked at corners, was common in certain regions. Post and beam construction dominated in others. Mortise and tenon joints, dovetails, and complex scarf joints connected timber without metal fasteners. The trees weren't just cut and used immediately. Traditional practice required felling trees 3 years before use, allowing the wood to dry properly. This prevented warping and ensured dimensional stability. The wood was then hand-hewn with adzes and axes, shaped precisely for its intended purpose. Interior surfaces often remained unfinished. Exposed stone walls, visible timber framing, raw wood floors. This wasn't poverty, it was practicality. Unfinished surfaces breathed, allowing moisture management in buildings without modern vapor barriers. The aesthetic we now call rustic was simply functional honesty. Modern conversions, honoring tradition. Here's where it gets exciting for 2026. Swiss Alpine barns are experiencing a renaissance as architects transform these historic structures into stunning contemporary homes while respecting their heritage. Award-winning projects like Hoff and Hist by Modernita Architects in Felsberg demonstrate the modern approach. They preserve the original residential building completely while carefully extending an old hay barn. The transformation created 2 distinct homes while maintaining the agricultural character. The converted hay barn now features a ground floor entrance through the original barn gate, leading to a guest room and studio. The upper floor contains an open-plan living area with kitchen and private quarters. The genius is that from outside, it still reads as a historic barn complex. The MCL barn renovation by Alp Architecture in Brusson shows how to rescue collapsing structures. This barn was literally falling apart when purchased. The architects added a concrete foundation, something the original lacked, then constructed a discrete rear extension for bedrooms and bathrooms. The first floor became a 35 square meter open living space. They used larchwood throughout, creating dialogue between old timber and new interventions. The result feels grounded in tradition while being distinctly contemporary. Savios Fabrizzi Architects specializes in barn conversions. Their approach preserves existing balcony doors while adding strategic new openings. They retain the barn character while establishing visual connections with the landscape. Oak paneling defines new interiors, adding warmth. Materials reminiscent of natural stone reinforce the alpine aesthetic. Its harmonious blending of historic preservation and contemporary design. The common thread in successful 2026 conversions is respect. Architects aren't trying to disguise these buildings as something else. They're celebrating the barn typology while adapting it for modern living. Large dark-framed windows become bold graphic elements against weathered wood. Minimalist interiors let the powerful timber structure dominate. Contemporary furnishings contrast with rough stone walls. Building regulations in Switzerland now encourage preservation. In many agricultural areas, you cannot extend the building footprint. This forces minimalist interventions and creative use of existing volume. Architects must work within the original envelope, which actually produces better results than unrestricted additions. The construction approach often involves partial dismantling. Wooden elements are carefully removed, cataloged, cleaned, and restored. Damaged timber gets replaced with treated wood matching the chromatic continuity. Then everything is reassembled with modern structural reinforcements hidden inside. It's like restoring a classic car, respecting the original while upgrading the mechanicals. Sustainability lessons for 2026. Swiss Alpine barns offer sustainability lessons that modern green building standards are only now codifying into requirements. Material sourcing was inherently sustainable. Zero transportation emissions because everything came from within a few miles. Local stone, local timber, local labor. This created buildings with minimal embodied carbon, a metric we now track meticulously, but they achieved naturally. Durability is the ultimate sustainability. These barns have lasted 200, 300, even 400 years with minimal maintenance. Compare that to modern buildings designed for 50-year lifespans. When you build something that lasts centuries, you've eliminated the environmental cost of demolition and reconstruction multiple times over. The passive climate control systems, thermal mass from stone, natural insulation from hay, heat from livestock, solar orientation are being rediscovered by contemporary architects. Passive house standards and LEED certification now quantify and require what Swiss Alpine builders did intuitively. Adaptive reuse is now recognized as the most sustainable building practice. Renovating an existing barn has far less environmental impact than new construction. The structure is already there. The materials are paid for. You're simply adapting rather than consuming new resources. Modern conversions add contemporary sustainability features. Spray foam insulation in roof cavities. Triple glazed windows in traditional openings. Geothermal heating systems. Solar panels integrated into roof designs. LED lighting. These upgrades make centuries-old barns more efficient than new suburban homes. The use of renewable materials continues. Architects specifying larch, oak, and stone are following the traditional palette while meeting modern environmental standards. Some projects even use sheep's wool from local Valais black-nosed sheep as natural insulation, directly connecting to regional agricultural traditions. Design principles you can apply. Even if you're not converting a Swiss Alpine barn, you can apply these design principles to any mountain or rural project. Start with climate response. Study your site's sun path, prevailing winds, and weather patterns before designing. Position living spaces towards sunlight. Place utility and storage spaces on the harsh weather side as thermal buffers. This costs nothing, but requires thinking before drawing. Use local materials whenever possible. This creates buildings that belong to their landscape rather than fighting it. Local materials are often more available, reducing transportation costs and time. They also perform better because they've evolved in that specific climate. Design generous roof overhangs. Protecting walls from weather is universal wisdom. A 3-foot overhang prevents water infiltration, reduces maintenance, and creates useful covered outdoor space. It's one of the highest return architectural investments you can make. Embrace thermal mass. Stone, concrete, or thick timber walls absorb heat during warm periods and release it during cool periods, stabilizing interior temperatures. This reduces mechanical heating and cooling loads. Create vertical zoning in your program. Put utilities, storage, and garages on lower, colder floors. Position living spaces higher where they receive better light and views. This follows the traditional barn hierarchy and improves livability. Don't hide structure. Exposed timber framing, visible stone walls, and honest material expression create character that fake finishes can never achieve. The raw authenticity of structural materials, aging naturally produces beauty that improves over time. Swiss Alpine barns represent something rare in architecture, designs that have stood the test of time not through luck, but through profound understanding of materials, climate, and human needs. These buildings have survived centuries because every element serves multiple purposes. Nothing is wasted, nothing is merely decorative. In 2026, as we face climate change and housing challenges, these barns offer a masterclass in sustainable design. They prove that local materials, passive climate control, and durable construction aren't compromises. They're advantages that create buildings serving multiple generations. The current trend of converting these barns into contemporary homes isn't just about aesthetics, though they're undeniably beautiful. It's about recognizing that the vernacular wisdom embedded in these structures is more sophisticated than much of what we build today with all our technology. Whether you're an architect, a builder, or someone dreaming of a mountain home, Swiss Alpine barns demonstrate that the best design comes from paying attention to place. These buildings grew from their landscapes, used what was available, and respected the forces they had to withstand. That philosophy is timeless. The magic of Swiss Alpine barns is that they make extreme environments livable through intelligence rather than brute force. No massive HVAC systems, no exotic imported materials, just thoughtful design that works with nature instead of against it. If this exploration of Swiss Alpine barn design fascinated you, smash that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into architectural traditions from around the world. Drop a comment telling me what architectural style you want me to cover next. Should I explore Norwegian stave churches? Japanese Minka farmhouses? I read every comment, and your suggestions shape future content. Check the description for links to architects mentioned in this video and resources on Alpine architecture. And if you're seriously considering a barn conversion or mountain build, watch my video on modern Alpine architecture next. It's the perfect companion to what we just covered. Thanks for watching, and remember, the best architecture isn't about showing off. It's about responding intelligently to place, climate, and human needs. See you in the next one.